Hey, welcome to another episode of the Chaotic Sports Podcast. I guess this is more just the Chaotic Sports conversation. My name is Chris Sarda. There's Angelo Soboro. Wayne is jumping in and out when he feels like it. He's having little technical difficulties, so we'll get to it.
Yeah, it says at Wayne, never do I lose, but he's losing at this thing right now.
Yeah, he loses at it every week, every time we do it.
Yeah, he's losing at live streaming.
You can find us at Chaotic Sports on Twitter. You can find us at Chaotic Sports Podcast on Instagram, and you can find us here on YouTube. And we normally Low is the podcast guy. Normally Low is the podcast guy, and we this is his first appearance on the Chaotic Sports channel. You've been on the Chaos and Comics channel. First appearance on the Chaotic Sports channel. How do you feel right now?
I mean, this is like my 800th appearance on the Chaotic Sports channel, but it's like, I guess, first YouTube live, right? Basically for Chaotic Sports.
Yeah. So first YouTube live.
I mean, it feels good, man. It would have felt good 6 months ago, a year ago. I mean, I had to book this like 8 months in advance. I need like a pandemic to happen for me to get on this thing. Finally got enough time. You guys are stuck at home.
Wayne's waving back there. I'm trying to let you finish the thing, but he's like making a fucking noise. You know what I mean? So let me get some chaos in here. Let's see if this even works. We're gonna bring in chaos. Yeah, I wanted to let you finish your.
Okay, but he should be called he should be called Wayne's World.
He's having an aneurysm because he could see us. You can't see him. He could see us though.
Can you see him? How'd you know he was going like this and going crazy?
I can see the backstage people since I'm the administrator. Okay, here we go. Hey, what are we betting? You want to do a bet on whether this works or not?
Whether this three-way works for the whole thing?
No. Just whether Wayne's gonna work right now. Look at him. He's making faces back there.
All right, it's gonna work, but only for about 40 seconds. Then it's gonna go out. So I'm gonna say it's gonna work. It's gonna work for 40 seconds. Countdown right now. It's
Hello.
All right, Wayne, you got 38 seconds.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can he hear us?
I can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us?
Dude, just take out. Can
you hear me?
Hear us, though. It is.
Dude, Wayne, you're really messing up this. You're really messing up this damn stream, man.
Hey, what time did I tell? We can hear you.
Can I hear you? Can you hear me now? Because I can hear you.
Okay, we're good then. We can hear you.
Dude, I hate to see you like in class in 8th grade.
Angelo, what time did I tell everyone to show up to the fucking stream in backstage?
4:45. 4:45. It was about 18 minutes ago.
What time
can you hear me?
4:49.
For the third time, we can hear you.
Well, he showed up at 4:59.
He was more like 4:56. If this guy asks me whether I can hear him one more fucking time.
Okay, this guy is cooking like eggs or popcorn or something, man.
No. I'm taking my swole juice.
Yeah.
While we're trying to do a podcast, you're taking swole juice?
He could take a swole juice. Who cares? This is listen, I'd rather him do this than spend 15 minutes fucking with his Bluetooth.
All right, swole juice over Bluetooth, huh?
Yeah.
Amino energy, baby.
Yeah. Anyway, Angelo, as we were saying, Love, this is your first appearance. You're the veteran of the. The podcast. I'm gonna far more podcasts than everyone else. You're the veteran of it. You just keep fucking talking like fucking.
Wayne's acting like a rookie over here, man. Let's get this going.
Yeah, Wayne's like there's not.
All right, my apologies. Let me get situated. Sorry, fellas.
All right, so you just stand there and look pretty. Let us talk about some sports for a second, all right?
Yeah. It's not like you're going to add anything to the sports conversation anyway. You know what I mean? We'll be talking about championships. This guy will be trying to talk about the Browns.
Yeah, I mean the only reason we got you is because you look like you play sports. You know what I'm saying? You don't know sports. You just look like you play sports. So we got to throw you up on there.
Yeah. Little do they know we've seen this guy play sports before.
Hey, and I'm a fucking I'm a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah, you do fall a lot. You're right.
Hey,
all right.
Physical.
Well, I mean, I know we want to talk about sports, but we got to talk about a little life too, right? There's not many sports going on right now unless we go back to the past.
I mean, we'll do all of it. We'll do the whole thing, dude. I really want to talk about my feelings.
What, like some deep scars from being tied inside the house for 28 days straight, or what?
I'm taking walks, dude. I know my job is work at home, but I'm taking like these great walks.
Okay, that's good.
Music. Yeah. I'm doing good on that side.
I'm doing pretty good because we should be careful about Wayne. I'm just saying Wayne might not be doing that good right now. I'm getting outside, you know what I'm saying, with my family. I'm going to work a few days a week or whatever. I'm working, so I'm still moving around. Wayne hasn't been outside for about 7 days. So, so you know what I mean? We gotta talk about him.
If he can't go to the gym, Wayne is just sitting at home watching. He's watching worse ESPN than normal because it's ESPN not about anything.
Oh, that's true though. I've honestly only watched ESPN like 5 minutes total in the last like month. Wayne watches it like 5 hours a day, and it's just, you're right, it's just gibberish. It's about like the past. It's like I feel like I'm watching a VHS tape of 2006, which it is.
Wayne, what are you watching? Are you watching ESPN still?
Fuck no.
What are you watching, dude?
I can't watch ESPN, man. I was watching some old fights, but I mean, like I said, the last fight I watched was
Ali,
I
right?
think I watched a special on Ali. So because since we are without sports, I've been watching a lot of stuff pertaining to sports.
Yeah, and I mean, me personally, I got so much sports watched in my freaking arsenal that I haven't watched any sports for freaking 20 days. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine.
See, I can't do that. I'm going.
But I'm gonna watch
I get what both you guys are saying. It's almost like a cleanse, but it's such a part of my life. It's weird. Like, it's weird that I'm not worried about watching fights right now. You know what I mean? It's weird that this should be the last week of the regular season of the NBA. We should be getting excited about the playoffs.
The playoffs should be starting. We should be in the like Stanley Cup Finals right now or something too. You know what I mean? Like NHL's, like baseball started.
NHL, the playoffs would have started. What the fuck is Wayne doing, dude? Are you doing flips?
I don't know. I think we'd be deep in the NHL playoffs, but obviously baseball would have started like a week or two ago. That'd have been awesome.
Yeah, we would have had all kinds of stuff going on. So, I mean, is it nice? Like, sort of I'm gonna realize how much I love sports. It's a palate cleanser, but at the same time, like, it's part of my life, you know.
Of course it is. I mean, I got something that's not even live sports that I'm pumped about, and that's the Last Dance next week. That's my sports that's coming, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So we'll talk about that. Let's talk about that in a minute. But just to introduce it, that's what I was gonna say is that, hey, there's still like a lot of sports content as far as like the shit people are any documentary that's coming out, so especially The Last Dance. I mean, we could still talk about like the sports movies that are coming out, the sports doc. Like, we should have been talking about that anyway, because that's the kind of stuff for like podcasts, you know, for podcasts and stuff like that. That stays out longer, those reviews. Because if we talk about like what happened this week, that's cool too. I want to talk about, but if you talk about what happened this week in the NBA, your podcast and video is immediately old, right? Within 3 days.
It's either old or you'd be talking about what happened in the NBA yesterday, and you'd be talking about a video game.
Yeah. So we'll watch The Last Dance. We'll do, after we all finish it, we'll do a whole hour stream just on The Last Dance, just on that.
Okay.
Michael Jordan.
I'm excited about that, but you guys are killing me right now. We're not even talking about the draft coming up next week. That's a definite thing that's supposed to be happening.
We will, Wayne. We're not going to talk about 7 things in 4 minutes.
Did 7 things? Hey, this is like the rapid fire. Hey, 7 things in 4 minutes. You have 36 seconds.
How about we talk about Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay? How about that?
Oh, you knew that was coming. You knew that was coming from Wayne.
Drew Brees versus Tom Brady twice a year, probably 3 times a year, because they'll have to play in the playoffs. What's better than that?
I mean, no, that means you're automatically saying that one of those teams will be the wild card team. It's just not the way it works. It's just not the way it works in the NFL. It's hard to get that wild card.
It's going to work that way this year.
I mean, okay, what about Brees? Wasn't Brees getting hated on too? Like, didn't he get voted? He didn't even voted on the all-decade team. Like, isn't that's a bunch of crap, right? You guys saw that
Well, dude,
all-decade team?
Dude, it's hard to get.
See that, and I did see that.
Who's on the all-decade team? Because I just saw Brady.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Brady, Rodgers, and somebody. Like Gronk wasn't even an unanimous tight end. That shows you something right there. Like,
well, Gronk is always hurt, right? And Breeze won his title not in the 2010s.
I mean, yeah, but hasn't he been pretty much dominating the whole?
I love Drew Brees, and if you ask me who's better between Breeze and Rodgers, we actually had that conversation. To me, you can go either way, but the NFC is hard, dude. The NFC has some like really great quarterbacks. If Russell Wilson got put in there over Rodgers, I mean, I would disagree, but I wouldn't be mad about it. So the same with Rodgers over Breeze, you know.
That's true. Russell Wilson's been pretty dominant, like year after year.
Yeah, especially these last 2 or 3 years where he's not just the game manager we thought he was. He's legit.
Yeah.
Anyway, go back to. Let me ask you this. But let me ask you this, out of curiosity, who's been better in their career? This is a good question. This is a really good question. Who's been better in their career as far as the outcome? Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson?
What do you mean as far as the outcome? As far as like game for game?
Consistently, year after year, consistent, consistent results.
Russell Wilson
carrying the team.
Russell Wilson's never had a bad year.
No. Russell Wilson's early years, but Russell Wilson's early years were so.
No, his early years was the Super Bowl. His early years was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but it was with the
early
defense.
His early years were him carrying a football team.
No, they weren't. Yeah, it was the whole defense. It's well known that defense was the best defense in 2 decades.
Well, that's true too. And Marshawn Lynch.
Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch. Russell Wilson's first 5 years, I'm not going to take away from him, but Russell Wilson's first 5 years in the league were Aaron Rodgers last year. He was a game manager. Aaron Rodgers did what he needed to do, and other pieces of the team stepped up, and that's what Russell Wilson did at the beginning.
But hasn't Aaron Rodgers had a couple bad years?
Huh?
Aaron Rodgers has had a couple bad years. Russell Wilson hasn't.
No. Aaron Rodgers' bad year, aside from his first year when he took over from Favre, which barely counts. Aaron Rodgers' only bad year was last year, and he was still one of the best in quarterback rating. You see his bad year.
Wow.
What was his other bad year? The years that he got injured and then he made the playoffs by winning 5-6 games in a row?
I'll tell you what, Aaron Rodgers struggled tremendously after they got rid of Jennings. Then he built a connection. Then he built a connection with Jordy Nelson.
No, he looked like garbage a couple years ago. But I don't know if it was like the whole year. Maybe half the year he looked like garbage a couple years ago. Russell Wilson has never looked like garbage. So that's why I would say Russell Wilson.
He never looked like garbage.
I agree with you, Angelo.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
2 years ago, the team was garbage. He's playing on a fracture, but he was still an elite quarterback. Here's the thing:
do you have the ability to not be biased?
I'm not biased. I just told you that if someone put Russell Wilson or Drew Brees as the best quarterback, I wouldn't be angry about it. Well, I'm telling you, Russell Wilson, you guys, this is not the same Russell Wilson in the last 2 years as the rest of his career.
No, but the question was Aaron Rodgers never elite? The question was who's had a better game for game their whole career.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers has. I mean, he's dominated. He's taken over it by himself. Just because you can take some injury years, Russell Wilson's had injury years. 2 years ago. 2 seasons ago, when McCarthy got fired, is what you're trying to talk about.
Probably, but I don't remember Wilson ever having a bad year.
I mean, Wilson's had years where Wilson's had years where he was just there, not making mistakes.
Here's the deal. I don't ever remember a year where Russell Wilson could not get the job done, at least making his team go. He was never at fault. I feel like there has been times where
Aaron Rodgers
has had to throw a Hail Mary or two to find success.
Like what you just said,
Aaron Rodgers. When I think Aaron Rodgers, I think
what you said didn't make any sense.
When I think Aaron Rodgers, I think Hail Mary guru. I feel like he's the best Hail Mary throw passer in the game.
Yeah, that's I mean, I don't know how to put it, but that's just really, really, really dumb. I wish I could like, make you feel better and be like a referee here, but that
I'm really just saying that to antagonize you.
I was about to say, I swear to God, I was about to say that's a decent question, but you're just saying that to get Chris all pumped up right off the bat on this thread, on this, right. You know what I mean?
The original question was my intent. I'm just fucking with you right now. But I in all honesty, I do think that if I had to choose, I would probably say Russell Wilson has been more consistent. And
I don't think
I'll say that too. Now I'll say Aaron Rodgers has had a better high. He's had a better high, but Russell Wilson's had a better consistency his whole time in the league. But that's how I'm going to say it.
Aaron Rodgers has had a better high, and he's kept it basically until last year, and then he was still one of the best last year. So what I'm saying is that you've seen Aaron Rodgers high, and then just because it's dropped down a little, it looks massive. Because what you were seeing,
I've never seen him high
ever.
Yeah,
at least in that period. Now, if you want to talk shit about my team, what you would talk shit about him is that they, until the GM got let go, their biggest free agent signing was Julius Peppers, that was like 35. Like, if you really want to talk shit about the Packers and not giving Aaron Rodgers weapons or not building a team, you talk about the actual structure of the team. Like,
you would also talk about Wisconsin. Nobody wants to go to Wisconsin.
Yeah, that might be true too, but they're not paying
the Bucks. Nobody goes to the Bucks.
Yeah, well, they didn't even try. They didn't even try.
How many all-star caliber wide receivers has Russell Wilson had? You could also say that.
Well, you would say probably zero.
Yeah,
zero. Besides,
I don't know what you're saying. Probably. Here's what I'll say. It would have taken Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers to make the Randall Cobbs and the Jordy Nelsons great. I think those guys would have been solid players on any team, but it's a player like Aaron Rodgers, and it's a player like Russell Wilson or Drew Brees, who spreads it around. All three of those guys spread it around a ton. Marcus Colston. How good was Marcus Colston? But he was terrible at fantasy because you never knew when he was going to catch touchdowns because Drew Brees threw it to everyone.
He threw it to everybody. Him and Brady just throw it to everybody, so it's hard to dominate. But Russell Wilson, he hasn't had a dominating wide receiver until now, and that guy might be a couple years until he's dominant. Their big beast. I forget his name. Their rookie.
Yeah, and so my argument would be that Aaron Rodgers made guys dominant. Those kind of guys needed an Aaron Rodgers, a Russell Wilson, a Drew Brees type. Jordy maybe surprised me a little bit, but I think a lot of that was people didn't know how fast he was. So, I mean,
can Wayne hear us?
That was a big mistake by in my personal opinion, that was a big mistake by the Packers GMs by letting Jordy Nelson go.
Oh, no, you had to. And also he retired soon after. He was done.
No, he didn't. He went to the Raiders. He went to the Raiders.
That's what I mean.
Well,
he retired.
He lost his burst. He didn't have his burst no more.
That'd have been a terrible signing. That'd have been one of their worst signings ever if they kept Jordy. He went to
the Raiders.
No.
Dude, the Raiders signed the quickest guy in the world 8 years in a row, and then they signed the slowest guy in the world, Jordy Nelson.
Well, no, Jordy wasn't the slowest. He just lost his burst. He lost that.
That's what I mean. So,
first of all, he was never a speedster. He was a good route runner with excellent chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. That's what made him successful.
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
I was going to say, I thought he had speed. Yeah,
he did have speed. Wayne doesn't know what he's talking about.
Look up his 40. Look up his 40. It was nowhere near the level of Chris Johnson.
I know you're going to say Chris Johnson. Who cares? There's two people that has ever been born in the United States or the world that's Chris Johnson's level.
Yeah, Jordy Nelson was very known for being fast. He was very known for being. I'm not saying he was the fastest. I'm saying Jordy Nelson was very known for being fast. It was also well known that after he got his surgery, he was this is not an argument. Signing Jordy Nelson, it's very well known that would have been nuts and that the Raiders fucked up. And then he had to retire.
There's only one white guy in the NFL that's known as fast, and that's McCarthy. That's it. The white guys aren't speedy. You're not calling them speed demons. You're not calling them speed demons. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordy Nelson ran good routes, and he had amazing chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. That's what made him successful.
I think you're thinking of Danny Amendola. That's why I think you're thinking of Danny Amendola, dude. Jordy Nelson's on the Green Bay Packers.
No stuff, Sherlock.
If you type in Jordy Nelson's fast, there's all these articles from 2014 going, Jordy Nelson's really fast. People don't realize how fast Jordy Nelson is. It's like well known, Wayne. Just trust me on this one.
Deceptively fast, maybe. Deceptively fast.
What are you just making up? Are you making sure?
I could beat Jordy Nelson right now in a sprint. What's up?
Oh, come on, man. I mean, maybe you could. You might could now, but I don't think it is prime.
Hey, of course, no, not even now. Hey, of course, if it's a fast white guy, you got to call him corn-fed. That's a requirement. No. We have a fast white guy. He's corn-fed. He's in the gym every day.
Nobody. I don't understand how Jordy Nelson is called fast. It's just no.
I mean, I think he was pretty quick. I think he was pretty quick in his prime.
Moving along.
I mean, there's not too many wide receivers like that are probably fast, but you don't want a guy that's faster than Chris Johnson because all those guys are horrible.
Faster, but who's faster than I would say McCarthy's faster than
McCarthy? Who's that? I don't even know who you're talking about. McCaffrey. I thought you were talking about the old Packers coach, McCarthy. I was like, dude, I don't think he's that fast.
No, McCaffrey. McCaffrey's
Christian McCaffrey
is a fast guy. He's fast.
That guy's really fast.
I'm not throwing Jordy Nelson on that level. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a different kind of speed anyway. I probably wouldn't put Jordy Nelson on. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is fast for any guy. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to tell you he's the fastest guy in the league. I'm trying to tell you it was well known that he was fast, not this great route runner. He was well known to once he caught the ball that you couldn't catch him anymore, especially after the catch. That's what he was really known for.
I mean, if Jordy Nelson didn't have any speed, he wouldn't.
I've tried to cut Jordy Nelson down for a long time, and then every now and then I'd be like, well, goddamn, that was an extra 40 yards that we wouldn't have had if even Randall Cobb, who was basically Jordy Nelson, they were almost the same kind of build, Randall Cobb out of anything could do that, So,
I mean, if Jordy Nelson didn't have any speed, he would have been out the league 5 years ago. Is what I'm thinking.
I think in this instance, you're underrating the amount of chemistry that he had with Aaron Rodgers.
No one's not saying that he didn't have chemistry. I mean, they grew together too.
I just said underrating. That's all. Underrating.
I mean, you could be right, but chemistry doesn't make you slow. Chemistry doesn't make you slow, though.
He said he wasn't fast. He's like, everyone knows the fucker's fast. Let's talk about the Browns, so at least you fucking sound like you know what you're talking about.
I mean, what do we want to talk about the Browns about they're going to have a great year this year? Didn't we just say that last year? Which I didn't. I said they're going to be garbage.
Yeah, I said they were going to maybe go 8-8.
Yeah, they weren't ready for prime time. You know what I'm saying? Now they're not ready either because now all this chaos is going on. Now they're backed up another year. You know what I mean?
You think they're backed up another year?
Yeah, they're backed up another year now. All this chaos is putting them back.
Dude,
what do you think,
how many? We can go into what Wayne wanted to talk about earlier. How, since there's no combines, there's no private workouts, there's not even any video except for the end of college football. How much is this going to affect? Obviously, it's going to affect it a lot, but in what ways do you think this is going to affect the choices when we actually get to the draft? Now that the draft's being done with none of these things happening.
All right, go ahead, Wade. Gentlemen, go first.
FYI, there was a combine, so I want to make sure we put that out.
Oh, there was.
There was. And there were some camps, some small little pro days, but overall, I think. At the end of the day, I think it comes down to the fact that these GMs are evaluating players on their tape. So really, all they're going to do, their last game tapes, their game tapes from year over year. So I think as long as they analyze those properly and they do like a little virtual interview, face-to-face type of thing for guys that they really have deeper questions for, or they're kind of on the fence for. I don't see that, the pandemic being that much of an issue. I think the pageantry of it as what we know as fans, we're going to lose out on that, watching the camera, zoom in on the player that we think should be drafted. But overall, I think it'll still be successful, and teams will get the players that they want.
Yeah, here's what I'm gonna say too.
You don't think a lot. You don't think it'll affect it a lot then?
I don't think
it'll affect it for the fans. Okay.
All right. I don't think it's gonna affect it a lot either. But what's gonna happen is all the players that we're gonna have the best draft in history of an NFL would have been this year in Vegas on the Bellagio freaking lake, whatever. They would have had a best experience. Those players are missing out on that, and you're also gonna get, like Wayne was talking about, the interview. You're not gonna get those people in the person. You're not gonna get them. You're not gonna get those like feelings of somebody in a person in the room with you. But you're gonna have to do it online. But
we're gonna miss out on the pageantry of it. We're gonna definitely miss out on the pageantry of it.
But the teams know they have the tape from the college. They know who could play supposedly or not. It's gonna be basically they're gonna draft the same players they're gonna draft even if this wasn't going on. I think.
Okay. Now, what I will say, go ahead, Chris.
No, go. I'm gonna stay on the same topic.
What I will say, what I did hear, what I will say is that I heard that there will be an issue with, trades and things of that nature. The mechanics and the dynamics of the draft while it's going on, because to my knowledge, from what I've heard, just briefly, there are people that they have specifically designated to certain phone lines for trading or for certain phone lines to contact players. So all of that was in one hub. So I think that'll probably be an issue as far as communication with the outside world. I think we won't see nearly as many trades as we did in the past, where one team would trade up for one player and then they get 2 picks in the back. I think there won't be as much wheeling and dealing.
Why that? Why not though? I mean, it's still done on the phone. It's still done with GMs, and like why wouldn't there be still?
Because of the ability to converse in a room. Because I mean, you got to think about the whole aspect of a war room. It was
okay. So you're saying that the executives together, because they're all at the. Okay, I got you. That might be it. That might be true. Because now it might be all virtual.
Last thing, real quick, wasn't the big dog calling those shots anyway? So it's really one dog doing that thing anyway. So the whole war room thing doesn't really matter. Jerry Jones is doing his trade anyway. You know what I mean? It don't matter if there's one person in there or 10.
Well, you might be right. We'll see about that. So what I was going to ask though, and this is still on the same line of thought, really. What I was going to ask is, so you're thinking, let's go to the draft last year, the year before, previous year's draft. So you're thinking that for the most part, the decisions made just by seeing them in college. I mean, we did get a combine. You're right. We did get a combine. I guess I just completely forgot about that. Normally I watch it, but it happened just before all the pandemic closures. So normally you don't think that anything happens as far as like people that they will trade for when they see them privately, when they do private workouts, when they have more of a combine, when there's more stuff going on. You think that 99% of it is the way the guy played in college?
I'll take that real quick. Besides the character, interview in person, checking out somebody's character, they don't want a guy that does crack in a back alley of Kmart or something like that. So they're trying to find out how he is, like his soul and the person that he is. But other than that, it's all about his play on the field anyway, right? So they are
character interviews you can still do, right?
Yeah,
you can. A virtual thing that they could still do. Exactly.
You can still look up somebody. You can't get that in person feel and stuff. You could break somebody down in person a little better, stuff like that. But other than that, it's going to be based on his character and based on his play, right?
Yeah. For example, I could be doing crack right now.
I mean,
they also did interviews. They did do some type of interviews. I saw how like when they were able to have a player come in and they had some stuff set up. I saw that the Browns did that, where they had computers and all kinds of stuff set up for an interview process. I don't know if they actually got a chance to do all of that, but like I said, I think those spare of the moment decisions, we're going to lose out on a lot of happening. Just that in the moment, like, hey, this happened, so this is going to happen. Those chain of events and those spare of the moment decisions is what I think we're going to miss out on. I think 80-20, I'm going to just go with the 80-20 rule. I think 80% of them have their mind made up based on tape. That 20% is that kind of deciding factor.
Or maybe a lot of things happen.
And
where
real
you
quick,
get some,
if they do crack, like Lo said, if they do crack.
No, but you're trying to find out what people do on their off time. You don't want you do realize there's a lot of players that could have been great and they're living under a car and stuff, right? Because they don't have a good well, I'm just saying they don't live right. They don't live right on their other days off.
I'm a prime example right here, me.
Yeah, I mean, so is like other players, Alden Smith and whoever else. I mean, all these other players, But what I'm saying is some of these teams, like the Lions or certain teams, like even the Browns or whoever, some of these teams draft horribly. So you have to think all this stuff that's going on right now might actually make them do better. So they might like all the change might change their cards.
That's funny. It might work out for them. It might work out for them because they can't do it the way that they normally do it.
Exactly. So sometimes it's like they're forced into making a good pick.
Yeah. It sucks though for the Lions and the Browns because in the past they've made the pick that everyone else would have probably made. They've just gotten fucked on it so much. Like who wouldn't have picked Matthew Stafford? You know what I mean? And Matthew Stafford has been a legitimate starter in the league, right? He just never became Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, they had Stafford and Megatron. That was good. They just didn't have anything else.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Yeah, it just doesn't work out. And you know what I mean? The Browns, who wouldn't have picked some of those Browns picks?
I mean, I don't know. A couple teams maybe, but
some more bad.
Corey Coleman was a sought-after wide receiver, and he freaking flew.
Dude, that whole wide receiver class. Remember how big we were on him?
Coleman wasn't he Oklahoma State or something like that? Where was he? Baylor? What is it, Oklahoma State?
Baylor.
Okay, yeah. Baylor. He was good. He was good. But sometimes it's injury. Sometimes it's that's that he might be that off the field character. I don't think he was.
He was not mentally tough. He was not mentally strong.
Yeah, but hey, listen to this draft. How good this draft was for wide receiver for college. So how good it was they were coming out of college, and then how most of them are mediocre or bad, or didn't have already their careers went away. This was.
What are you looking? 13 draft or something?
Corey Coleman. I think this is the Corey Coleman draft. This is the 2014 draft with ODB. 14, yeah.
Okay.
So let me get to the wide receivers. So listen to how good this was coming out of college, and then where it ended up. Where the fuck you guys go?
Yeah, okay. Usually the fifth guy drafted is going to be the best one or something.
Yeah. So how good was Sammy Watkins supposed to be? I would say he's barely in the league.
I mean, he kind of did almost what we thought, right? He had a couple good years, but nothing.
No, I feel like he was that first superstar style receiver from Clemson when he came. Like he started the wave of really good wide receivers. He did go to Clemson, right?
Yeah, but he had a couple good years in Buffalo, didn't he? Just Buffalo wasn't that good. No,
he never played. He never played well. He's had a couple good catches, but he's never played well.
But Buffalo's never had a good quarterback though either, unless you want to consider Tyrod Taylor.
No, and where he went, where he is at now, or he's not even playing. He didn't even play well with Kansas City. He had that one good.
What?
He's got a ring. He's got a ring. Boy's got a ring.
He played well. He played well in the playoffs, like especially the Super Bowl, if I recall correctly.
So what I'm telling you is that Sammy Watkins will have these flashes because we know he's talented, but one, injuries, and two, he just never picked it up. He had that one great game. The first game,
he was just a decent wide receiver. We thought he would have been a little better, right?
Yeah, he should be a little better. He was almost out of the league. Okay, so the next two are legit wide receivers that worked out: Mike Evans and Odell Beckham. Although
Mike Evans for sure. Mike Evans for sure
might have a different thing.
Mike Evans to Tom Brady to Mike Evans.
Oh, bro. Hey, Odell Beckham's a joke, but he's had a couple good, couple good games, couple good years. Mike Evans is a stud though. Mike Evans
Mike
Brady
Evans
to
is
Evans is
picking up the
yeah.
best.
Brady to Evans, you're gonna hear nonstop. You're gonna get sick of it. Brady
So
Evans, Brady to Evans.
Next up, you know what? Now that these guys are 5 years in the league, some of them actually are better. When I looked at this list 2 years ago, it was like, oh man, it's a joke, but it's okay. Brandon Cooks, he could be better.
He just got released by the Rams.
Yeah, we thought he was gonna be really
Or they
good.
traded him. They traded him or something.
Kelvin Benjamin, similar problem to Sammy Watkins, but look how much talent this was coming out of college. Like, how good was Kelvin Benjamin supposed to be? He was supposed to be the savior for the Panthers when he came as a receiver there.
I feel like a lot of that has to do with who their quarterback is, though. I really do.
Yeah, but he had Cam. Kelvin Benjamin, a lot of his problem was the injuries, right?
Well, it was the injuries, and he couldn't catch. He forgot how to catch a football.
There you go.
You know
so Marquise Lee, I mean, Wayne during his rookie season called it he's a USC receiver. So I thought he's gonna be good, but he had a couple moments, but never big.
Who?
Marquise Lee from USC.
He played on the Jags. Right? He was on the Jags. He was on the Jags. Jaguars.
Yeah, he was on the Jaguars. We didn't even remember him, but I remember our conversation about him 5 years ago.
He was with
Jordan
the Jags,
Matthews.
no?
Yeah, Jordan Matthews is he's an NFL player, but he's nothing special.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. I feel like we're categorizing these guys poorly because I think part of it has to do with their quarterback and as far as opportunities and not every wide receiver with talent that's good is going to be a Julio Jones, but are you a consistent producer in the NFL is what I look at. Like,
does Jordan Matthews qualify as that? Does Jordan Matthews qualify as that? He's a consistent.
He was a consistently good wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like your fantasy football team reaped some benefits from his success.
Mine? No, I don't think he's done nothing in the league, man. Jordan, he hasn't done crap. So either as Calvin Benjamin,
You're thinking of what's his name that went from the Bears. He went from the Bears.
I would never have a guy like that on my team. I would have cut him. Years ago. That guy's not worthy of.
You're thinking of the guy that was on I forget his name now. You're thinking of the guy that was on the Bears and then went to the Eagles.
Brandon Marshall.
This is Jordan. No, not Brandon Marshall. Why can't we remember this guy? Who's the number one receiver in the Eagles? Who's the number one receiver in the Eagles right now?
I mean,
that's the guy that
I kind of think his name is starts with a J or something. It is kind of like.
It does, dude. I should know.
It was Matthews. I thought it was Matthews, and he's on your team, fantasy team, Sarda.
No, it's not Matthews.
But the player you're thinking of is hold on,
No, dude, it was a guy. He is right. Wayne is right. He's talking about a player you had for sure, but it's not Jordan Matthews. So name some of your wide receivers, Chris.
I can't remember. I know exactly who he's talking about. I'm going to tell you in 2 seconds.
Okay, so Wayne is right. His name is
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
We're talking about Alshon. Jordan Matthews got drafted by Philadelphia, was supposed to be really good. I mean, maybe not Kelvin Benjamin, Sammy Watkins level, but he's sort of fallen into the number 3 wide receiver.
He's nothing special at all.
The other one is
where is Alshon Jeffries?
That's who you're trying to talk about. He's on the Eagles now.
Where is he right now? He's quarantined inside of a basement or something.
Yeah, he's quarantined inside of a basement. You're thinking Alshon, though, is who you're thinking of. And he's had his moments, yeah. I'm going to read through the rest of it really quick. And then we'll talk about him. Devontae Adams has had a good career with Aaron Rodgers. Allen Robinson's had, a good year or two. Jarvis Landry, I think he had his first Pro Bowl this year, right?
No,
maybe. No. I like Allen Robinson for sure.
Jarvis Landry's been a perennial Pro Bowl player.
A perennial. Yeah. I mean, I've always liked Jarvis Landry. I don't know that I'd call him perennial. Well, he had that 1 year where
he was the man in Miami, right? I mean, he was a stud.
Well,
did he lead the league 1 year in receptions?
Yeah. That's the year we're talking about. I don't know about perennial. I love him. I love him, Wayne.
So I love him way more. He's way better than Odell. You know what I'm saying? So whatever.
Well, me and Wayne have been saying that for years. So have
I. No, me? Are you kidding me? I've never been high on Odell. I've always loved Landry.
Odell.
No, I haven't. That's Wayne. I think you're thinking about.
No.
I didn't say nothing about Odell.
You know whose jersey I got? I fuck with the real ones.
I mean, if I was so high, if I was so high on Odell, wouldn't I have thought the Browns would have played better the last year? No,
Wayne, just like you'll apologize to me about when you go read that Jordy Nelson's well known as being speedy, at least in his own way. I will apologize to you because he does have 5 Pro Bowl appearances. I thought he just had one. I thought he had one.
No, he dominated on Miami, dude. He just wasn't known that much because Miami never did nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
and they never used him the right way. They never used him the right way. But this last year that he made was one of his worst years. Like he barely got the ball from Baker. I was really disappointed with that.
Yeah, Angelo quit. I'm done with you fuckers. That's what he just said.
So let me ask you this. So just to keep going with the I know we were going off of the draft. Let's talk divisions. Can we talk NFC East, or can we talk NFC South, or let's talk
or AFC North or AFC North?
I mean, that's
for those that don't know Wayne. For those that don't know Wayne, this is what he wants to do. I know that I know that people that might be watching this think that Wayne just picked 3 divisions out of the top of his head. He wants to talk about.
He talks about the same things every time. You know that.
He wants to talk about the Browns. He wants to talk about Tom Brady, or he wants to
the Ravens,
Cowboys,
or he wants to talk about the Ravens too. He likes to talk about the Ravens too.
Hey. Hey, that's true. That's true.
Hey, if Brady wasn't traded, he'd be like, "Can we talk about the AFC North or the East?"
That's true. That's true.
That is true. I mean,
Wayne, pick a division. We'll talk about whatever division you want. Is it shit on the Cowboys time?
Let's. You know what? Let's go. I mean, we could talk about how the Cowboys are not even the best team in their division. We could do that.
Hasn't the Cowboys not been the best team in the division for a decade?
That would be longer? I'm gonna go and say that the Giants are the best team in that division.
I mean, haven't the Eagles been one of the best, better than the Cowboys every single year?
I think the Eagles are still the best team in that division.
Saquon Barkley's a monster, and don't forget this rookie quarterback just replaced a Manning. He was groomed and trained and replaced a Manning.
So he had a deep dive though. He dove down real bad.
Yeah, he was really bad. Like not even like I'm learning bad. It was like, ooh, you might be.
You're talking about Daniel Jones. He had a couple good games and he nosedived.
Yeah, it was more like you might be Tim Couch.
No.
You didn't look good, dude.
Let's go AFC West.
Dude, why are you saying no? He had horrible games at the end of the year.
We're talking about the Cowboys. Look at the bottom. It says time to shit on the Cowboys.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's like real time talking right there, huh? I like that.
All right.
If you want to stay on topic, I'll put that there.
I was about to say, in case I forget what we're talking about, I'll just look down and be like, okay, it's time to curse on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the deal, man. The Cowboys apparently are not that confident in Dak. Otherwise, they would have paid him.
That's not true.
I think they have issues. When you go out and seek Dez Bryant, right? Didn't they just pick up Dez Bryant or sign him for camp? Even if they're using him as a camp body, it's like you've been there, like you know what he has to offer. Like, why are you bringing this guy back after not playing for forever?
I don't know. He looked pretty good on some videos I saw.
I think at the end of the day, it really boils down to, can Dak Prescott make a crucial throw in crunch time when it matters? And
all right, Chris, go ahead and break this guy down, man. Go ahead and break him down.
That's why they didn't want to pay him.
Hey, wait, Lo, you know I'm not a Dak fan either. Listen, is it true that Wayne talks a little bit too much shit about Dak, and he's playing better than I thought that he was going to be 4 years ago?
Yeah, Dak's looked pretty good. He's had a pretty good career so far.
That's true. But Angelo, don't come to me if he's talking shit about Dak. I'm mostly on his side. I just may not be as loud about it.
I mean, I'm not telling you to protect Wayne. I'm just telling you to justify Wayne's words, which you can't. Like, you can't justify his words.
Passion for cowboy hate that I have. Yeah,
I don't.
Hate
dude,
is deeply rooted.
You might hate the Cowboys more than me, but I never liked the Cowboys. Trust me, I have never liked the Cowboys. That's verified.
But why is Dak so good then, Lo? Tell us why Dak is so good.
Dak is good because he's consistent and he's getting older. Like he's basically breaking into his prime right now. So like Dak in the next few years is in his prime moments right now. So he's consistent. He's gets you the ball. He can run a little bit. He's got a good arm. I mean, you can't hate on Dak. Dak's one of the one players you can't hate on the Cowboys. You can hate on some other, like they've had some garbage receivers. They've had whatever. They haven't had any good running backs basically besides Elliott, maybe, right? But
all right, so let's play a game here, Lo. Let's play a game. I'm gonna say Dak. I'm gonna say a quarterback, and you put them against Dak, and you tell me if you want them to start who you want to start over.
What if I'm taking over a team right now and I got these dogs for a couple games?
We lost Chris, I guess, but
that's all right. He'll jump back.
The show must carry on. So if you had an option, Russell Wilson or Dak, who you choosing?
Come on, dude, Russell Wilson.
All right, Aaron Rodgers or Dak, who you choosing?
Aaron Rodgers, but that doesn't matter because Dak is.
All right,
Dak
well, now I'm gonna make it.
No, but that doesn't matter.
Make it a little interesting.
Dak is younger.
Interesting.
Dak is younger. He's about to have his breakout moments. His breakout couple 2-3 years is right now.
So the NFL, we're not talking about future. We're talking about right now in the moment.
I know, but what I'm saying is, Dak's moments is the next 2-3 years.
So my question is to start this season. To start the season and get you wins this year, would you take Dak or Phillip Rivers?
Dak.
I'll take Dak.
Dak all day, dude. Phillip Rivers is done, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
I
love Phillip Rivers.
Here's one.
Rivers.
Dak or Teddy Bridgewater?
Probably Dak. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater looked all right, but I'll take Dak.
Yeah. I mean, Dak's at least had.
I mean, why is that funny? Wayne, come on, bro.
Yeah, Dak has at least had reps. You know what I mean? Teddy Bridgewater has to go out and at least be mediocre. Dak's had more than healthy Teddy Bridgewater.
Dude, Dak's prime moments are coming in the next few years, dude.
Do another one, Wayne, because I'm going to agree with you a lot sooner. But you're getting edgy here.
Dak, okay. I already did Dak and Russell Wilson.
This is a stupid game, dude. This is a dumb game.
Dak or Matthew Stafford?
Dak.
Stafford.
I got one. Hey, Dak or the
Mahomes. Mahomes. I'll take Mahomes.
Dak or the pride of Wyoming football in Buffalo?
I mean, for the future, for like his whole career?
No, next year. Coming up. 1 year.
Dak. I love Josh Allen, though. You're talking about Josh Allen, but I would have picked, if you would have said for his whole career, I might have picked Josh Allen. But if you like next year, I think Dak's more prime for a better year.
Let's go more in the pool of their talent. So Dak or Baker Mayfield?
Next year?
Dak.
Yeah, Dak still, dude. I mean, I like Baker's upside more.
This game is stupid, bro. You've got me. All you got me to say is Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes.
I know you're not very good at this. Let me do
this is making my point. This is like you're making my point for me.
Better. It's a better.
So Dak or we got the Baltimore Ravens quarterback?
I mean, Lamar Jackson for sure.
Yeah, Lamar for sure. That's easy.
And you forgot his name. Why'd you say Baltimore Ravens quarterback? You forgot his name.
I forget names too, dude.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay, let's go.
Dak or Garoppolo. That one's hard for me because I think both are overrated. Dak or Garoppolo.
Garoppolo.
Dak or Nick Foles.
Wayne, am I fucking here, motherfucker?
Dak.
You answer mine.
Dak.
Nick Foles has a Super Bowl.
Dude,
respect that.
Yeah, but the problem is you need another quarterback to get him there.
You're not making your case, bro. We're getting farther and farther from your case.
All right, so this is my realistic perspective on Dak. I think he's actually one tier above. You ready for this?
Uh-oh.
One tier above who?
Damn.
You forget.
I lost this.
Name the team. Name the team, dude. You're not too good with names today.
Name the team.
Name the team. Name the team, dude.
The St. Louis Rams. Dak or Jared Goff?
He's one tier above Trubisky.
Oh, no way, dude. I'd way rather have Dak than Trubisky. Come on.
But I'm saying he's a one level above Trubisky.
Yeah,
Trubisky's terrible.
Trubisky's
terrible.
So Stafford is a starter. So that's the one where I put him. That's the one where you can argue. What are you doing? You got a kid then?
Well,
yeah. How'd you know that, man? How'd you know?
What?
All right, never mind. So, dude, there's no way I'd pick Trubinsky over Dak, dude. That's like a joke right there. Are you asking me seriously?
But I said that, in my opinion, Dak is just a tier above.
Who? All right, hold on. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. It happens. My
no, dude, one tier above, like 3 tiers above or something, dude. I mean, come on, dude. That's not even close.
Okay. This is how you
Dak or Kirk Cousins.
Dak. You're not making your case, dude. We're going farther and farther away from your case.
Kirk Cousins. I'll take Kirk Cousins. I'll take Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins been on fire. Like, Kirk Cousins was legitimately a Pro Bowler last year.
I mean, let's talk about. I think we need to jump subjects here because this is going nowhere fast.
For you,
you should have asked me like Jameis Winston or Dak, and I would have told you Dak.
Aside from the Tom Brady move, what other free agent moves are big that you guys are looking forward to seeing how they pan out in the NFL?
I mean, I have no idea. I haven't been on ESPN for months.
I know. I remember a bunch of trades. Why don't you read us the big free agent moves so we remember, Wayne, since you're just randomly asking questions?
I know Tom Gurley is not on the Rams no more, and they're saying it's because of his contract.
Yeah, that's meaning.
How do you guys feel about Phillip Rivers to the Colts?
It's the best place he can go. For him to have another year or two, it's the best place he can go because they have a good. That's probably one of the better offensive lines in the league. So it's the best.
Their defense is phenomenal.
Well, I mean,
I think their defense is phenomenal.
The defense is great, and the team will succeed a little bit because of it. But if Phillip Rivers is going to succeed, obviously he needs to be able to take 3 steps back and be able to throw it. And he can't be being chased around. So the best situation for him, that's where I thought Tom Brady was going to go, by the way. Because I thought the same, obviously Tom Brady can move a little more.
No, he wouldn't have gone. He wouldn't have gone to Manning's old stomping grounds. You would have thought that?
I mean, I'd have thought that. Just listen, Tom Brady wants to win, and he's a smart guy. He knows that, you know what I mean, that he needs it. He couldn't go to like one of these teams that have like a terrible, he couldn't go play. I think the Seahawks
or the Cardinals or something.
Or the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals is a perfect example. He's not going to go there even if one of the best receivers is there, right?
Yeah.
So he knew, and Bruce Arians is a great coach. I mean, Bruce Arians and Tom Brady is like, that's another like sort of dream matchup.
Yeah, I love Arians. Arians is good. I'll think like real quick about the Colts. Hold on, Phillip Rivers. There's 2 guarantees about Phillip Rivers on the Colts, right? I guarantee he goes to the playoffs, and I guarantee he has a kid in Indianapolis. There's 2 guarantees right now that's happening. Mark it up. Mark it up right there.
Hey, so I just want to throw two more quarterbacks that came to my mind when you guys were talking there. I'm just going to throw it out there. Dak or the young rookie quarterback for the Cardinals?
Dude.
Murray for 1 year?
Yeah.
I mean, for next year, Dak. I mean,
on any team or on the Cardinals?
No, just for any like what quarterback would you choose to get some wins?
Well, for next year, Dak. Murray's not ready for a couple more years, I think. So I'll take Dak.
Assuming the teams are the same.
Yeah.
Wayne,
all things equal.
Kyler Murray.
Okay.
Kyler Murray. Yeah, I saw those flashes last year.
Murray's
good.
Those flashes. Murray's good.
Really good.
I just think Dak's way better right now.
Yeah, surprised me. It surprised me. Maybe size will come into play. Maybe they'll figure him out this year.
Yeah, just give up.
What I saw last year on a bad team. So like he impressed me, because I think the thing that makes Dak worthy and worthwhile is that he has a good head on his shoulders. Actually, right? He's actually a good leader. He's actually good at all that. So I see that in Kyler Murray. I mean, plus a bunch of other skills.
They're kind of like Russell Wilson-ish.
Well, I said this before a long time ago about Dak. He is a more athletic Alex Smith, in my opinion.
Well, that's a pretty good QB. Then Alex Smith was pretty good.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Smith is taking college teams and pro teams to the promised land. You know what I mean?
Alex Smith was a tad disappointing, but he was pretty good. He was on his way to doing well with the Redskins until that injury happened. I mean, the reason people think Alex Smith wasn't so good is because he's compared to Aaron Rodgers, right? He got picked ahead of Aaron Rodgers, like he's compared to him a little bit too much. I think Alex Smith had a solid career, and I think he would have continued to find success with Washington if he didn't have that gruesome injury.
Yeah, just like he was having success on the Niners, Injury
I think we both agree. I think we're agreeing with you on that one, Wayne, is that he's a more athletic Alex Smith.
That's pretty good though. Shoot, that's pretty good QB.
Yeah, that's on the higher side of the top 15.
All right, let's get off that because we're not getting anywhere. We're not getting anywhere. You know what I mean with that.
Yeah, we were talking about something else and a good subject, and then Wayne just wants to go over 32 quarterbacks. But I'm going to ask one more.
Okay, go ahead. But we were kind of he was trying to get on the Cowboys case and blah blah blah. And then he just went on this Dak tangent.
Yeah, he gets nuts. It's like why are you racist against mixed guys? Wait, is Dak mixed?
He is mixed.
Yeah.
Why are you racist against mixed guys, dude?
That's why he doesn't like Stephen Curry or Dak or Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you guys should see the texture.
Stephen Curry's black.
Dude, he's white. He's white as white can be.
No,
yeah, he's half white.
His mom is mixed. No, his mom is half and half, and his dad is black. Steph Curry's
mom. Oh, so he's 3/4. His mom looked white as hell to me.
No, she's just half and half. She's beautiful though. God, shout out to Steph Curry's mom.
Hold on. I'm sharing the screen. Hold on.
You're sharing the screen. What does that mean, dude? Putting somebody else in?
No. I'm gonna.
Hey, live from Las Vegas.
Pulling up a picture of Steph Curry's mom.
Bro, Steph Curry's mom.
Hey, she's mixed.
Dude, if I didn't know who she was, I would think she was.
She's like 50. She's 50-50, bro.
She's mixed.
No, she's not mixed.
That girl.
Yes, she is.
Bro, she's a Filipino
woman.
I believe you, Wayne. That doesn't look like she's mixed to me, but I believe you. Let's see.
I mean, what does her being mixed have to do with Stephen Curry being all black? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, we were saying half. It's actually fucked up to say mixed, by the way. But
I mean, isn't everybody a mutt?
Biracial.
Basically a mutt.
Biracial.
I guess.
I mean,
I don't know.
What's Klay Thompson?
He's biracial, mixed, or whatever.
Yeah, his mom's probably white. Yeah.
You guys should see the people listening should see the crazy stuff. How much Wayne hates Blake Griffin because he's half white.
That's true too.
Hey, speaking of half, this is way off topic, but what's the NBA player that went to the league and then he went out because of mental issues? I think he's trying to get into the UFC. He's trying to get into MMA.
Who, Adam Morrison?
No, he was
for Gonzaga.
He was an NBA player. He was
Royce Lewis. No, Royce something. Okay?
Yes.
No, he played for Iowa State, and Royce something. But he was very good in Iowa State. His problem was he couldn't travel via plane. He couldn't travel via plane, and he couldn't travel. So he was like, "I'll go on the road."
He had mental health issues, but
he didn't want to get on a plane.
The dude's trying to get into the MMA. He's trying to get into UFC.
Royce White, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Does he have any fights?
I don't know, but last thing I heard is he's trying to get into MMA.
Well, that means he'd be a heavyweight, right? He's a pretty big dude. He's like 6'7" or something like that, 250.
He was a good power forward. He was like the second coming of Blake Griffin.
He was pretty good for Ohio State. He was pretty good. And the reason why he didn't do good in the NBA is because he couldn't even get on the court because he couldn't get on the plane. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could call that mental issues.
Overall, he had mental health issues. He's pretty well known about saying like how the NBA didn't really have much structure for guys with mental health issues. I watched a documentary on it.
I could see that it could be mental health, but like the thing I know is that mostly was he was scared to fly. and it could be other stuff
too.
too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that
So,
Flying phobia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really a mental
qualifies.
health issue. That's just being like scared to fly. Like if I
Well,
was
I
scared to
mean-
fly, wouldn't mean I have mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? Unless you know something I don't know.
I mean,
I just
it is.
had
It
like,
is like a
I
mental
had one of
thing.
those comments, those sly comments that popped in my head that I should have said, but I didn't.
You're not quick enough on the gun, dude. You're not quick enough. You know?
It's probably better
No.
you didn't say it.
Yeah, don't get
So-
too crazy up on there.
So let's go with some UFC, some MMA, man. Let's talk about some combat sports and what
That's
we
the
thought
first.
was
That's
gonna
the first good thing Wayne said all day.
what we thought was going to happen. Dana White is adamant about Fight Island. First of all, Fight Island.
Okay. Conor McGregor or Dak Prescott?
For what? For one night?
Dak.
Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor for sure.
Hey, Conor McGregor is the man, though.
Yeah, bro. Come on, Conor McGregor.
I don't
for
want
sure.
to. Hey, I was just trying to make a Dak joke. There's no reason to talk about Conor.
Yeah,
McGregor.
we know. But
Skip
in all
Conor.
seriousness, though, Fight Island is supposed to be a go. Dana White's got the infrastructure going. It's about to happen.
It's not going to happen. Fight
bad
Island won't even happen. It will happen in like a year, but it ain't happen anytime soon. But it's a good idea for the future. You know what I mean? There ain't nothing happening soon.
Talk about a cursed fight, though. How is this Tony Ferguson Khabib fight like?
Let's go ahead and give. Let's go ahead and Chris has his hands on his head. That means he got something to say. So let's let him break it down.
This means I don't. This means I'm relaxing now.
No, I made you do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, break it down. Let me hear it.
Angelo.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Angelo, you failed body language 101. That's for damn sure.
No, trust me. I've taken these classes. Chris, when he puts his hands on his head, he's got something to say. Let him say it.
That's a sign of relaxing.
Yeah,
No, it's not. He's anxious. You don't see him bobbing and weaving.
Not talking about anything. Poor Wayne's trying to set something up, and you just keep talking over his ass.
No, I'm saying he asked you a question, Chris, and you haven't talked about it. He asked you, "Is this fight cursed?" Ferguson Khabib.
No, I mean that's the sentence he was about to say. You didn't let him finish it.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm pretty sure that COVID-19 was not going to spread at all. Like it was just a very small disease. And as soon as Khabib and Tony signed the dotted line, the virus in China, thousands of miles away, suddenly got far more contagious, spread across the world in order to cancel this fight.
So, Chris, I'm going to make you a fight manager right now. Now, if you were managing Tony Ferguson and the UFC, which they did, they brought Justin Gaethje to the table. Would you have fought Justin Gaethje, or would that have been a bad idea? Because in my opinion, I think he should have said, you know what? I know the UFC, you want to have this event go. I know you want, but I don't. If I was Tony Ferguson's manager, I would not have allowed him to fight Justin Gaethje.
Angelo will agree with me here. Any fighter or Tony Ferguson specifically?
Tony Ferguson specifically.
Yeah, Ferguson can fight anybody, right?
Yeah, let him fight. He needs to fight. Also, I'm not trying to make light of this, but Tony Ferguson probably has some mental issues too, I think. So he
I'd
needs
agree
to
with that. He's got some problems.
He needs to make all the money he can.
Don't all of us have mental issues?
No, but he had like steal his baby from his mom mental issues and.
Well, he speaks. You don't even know what he's saying half the time. He has his glasses on all the time. He's just crazy. You know
And I didn't want to get into that because I don't know the details, and that gets a little darker than I want to here. But for Tony Ferguson, let him fight. The truth is that he would have to fight Gaethje anyway, so he might as well make this money.
But if he loses, and that automatically puts Gaethje in contention to fight Khabib next.
Yeah, but Tony Ferguson
I did not like.
Well, Ferguson.
A guy like Gaethje. I'm sorry, Lo. I'll let you respond.
Go ahead.
A guy like Gaethje is like built for Tony Ferguson to beat. It was the same as as good as Cowboy is. That's the exact kind of fighter that Conor McGregor will dominate. And I think Gaethje's the same way for Tony, my opinion. So listen, make money. It's a good fight that, in my opinion, is not high risk. There's always a chance to lose because if Gaethje catches, Gaethje can knock out a fucking cow, and he could take a cow's punches. So there's always a risk in it.
I didn't even know a cow could punch.
That's true too. But Tony Ferguson, he needs to fight. Dana was going to take care of him. They're going to give him a lot of money in order to do this.
If you lost that fight, if you lost to Gaethje, then Gaethje's up next to fight Khabib. There's no way you could really
That's fine.
I'm glad that the fight didn't happen.
Hey, that fight was never happening. That fight was never happening. You guys are just 1 million people, 5 million, 20 million people are just full of it. That fight was never going to happen. But if you could fight Khabib, if you're ready to get down with Khabib in the ring, you're damn right ready to get down with Gaethje, right? Even though he's good, if you're ready to sprawl with Khabib, you're ready to sprawl with anybody.
Like I would have rather. I don't think it would have happened, but I would have rather saw Gaethje and Conor McGregor. And
if Ferguson was going to fight, no, but dude, if Ferguson was ready for freaking Nurmagomedov, then Ferguson was ready for Gaethje, right? I mean, come on, think about it. You think he's scared of Gaethje?
Say Khabib's last name. Hey, say Khabib's last name again.
What do you mean, Nurmagomedov? Khabib Nurmagomedov. How do you say that?
We can tell who has no culture.
Hey, it don't matter, man. That's how I say it. I mean, it is what it is.
It's all good. It's all good.
I forgot to spell Ferguson.
Fergerson.
I did too.
I'm a big Tony fan, and I think it would have been bad for him if he would have fought Gaethje and lost. So
Conor, assuming that you're talking about the fight that was supposed to happen in mid-April here, it could have never been Conor because he wouldn't have been allowed to come to the country.
True.
Yeah, so it could have never been Conor anyway to save the pay-per-view anyway.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go, Lo.
No, I was just saying. I think Wayne's kind of talking like how Conor fought like Nate Diaz, and that was a weird fight because like Nate Diaz out of nowhere fighting a guy that's like bigger, and he wasn't really ready for that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you're thinking Ferguson wasn't ready for Gaethje.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm just a strategic thinker, and I think worst case scenario, you lose. That takes you all the way out of what you wanted. Not all the way, but it puts somebody else in front of you for what you really truly wanted.
No, but if you're a true fighter for Dana White, you're going to fight anybody at any time.
But it's not strategic thinking. It's that obvious thing that fighters think, and it's better that they don't think that way. And Ferguson was going to have to fight. Ferguson was going to have to fight Gaethje anyway. He's going to have to fight him next anyway.
Yeah, and doesn't Dana White want guys that will fight anybody anytime? You know what I'm saying? You want to fight? Let's go ahead.
Better as the champ. Better fighting him as the champ or the guy that lost to the champ than the guy that lost to the.
Yeah, but listen. Here's the way I'll say it. I'll say it with probability. There's a 50-50 chance that Ferguson loses to Khabib. I think there's a 90% chance he beats Gaethje. So if he loses to Khabib, he wouldn't get the Gaethje fight. Then
I would think that. I agree with that too. I would say he's way better off beating Gaethje than. And
Gaethje's great, dude. And he's turned it around. Hey, let's talk about. Can we talk about Gaethje for a second? Because that's a guy I followed when he was in World Series of Fighting. When he was a brand new fighter, man, I thought he was, and he is. He still came out that way. But when he was coming up, man, I thought he was going to be so legit.
Bro, he's like
him fighting in the World Series fighting so long made him a different fighter. Made him a brawler. He was so far.
But he's like the Caucasian Ferguson without mental issues.
Wayne, I'm telling you that fighting lower competition in the World Series of Fighting made him a brawler. I watched him when he was young. He has a lot of skills. It was just one of those things where like you're fighting this lower competition, so you can like stand in front of them more because you're gonna fuck them up. You know what I mean?
Isn't Gaethje like he was a wrestler like in Iowa or New Mexico or something, right? I seen some videos.
Yeah, he's a wrestler.
He was good. I saw a video. He wrestled in college, right? Yeah, he was good. I saw him some results. He was legit.
Speaking of which, I just saw a podcast on YouTube, like a short little segment. Mike Tyson's doing like a social distancing segment, and Gaethje and Mike Tyson were talking while Gaethje was in his car, and Mike Tyson, basically Mike Tyson's like, yo, you got that power. Gage is like, yeah, I try to bring that Mike Tyson power to the table. And that's the thing is Gagey has so much power that if one punch thrown that you can't see, you could be knocked out. And that's the risk that I didn't like for Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, but I've seen Tony Ferguson fight those guys before. Like he's really good with distance. He's really good with movement. Like, am I going to tell you like he might not get punched? I'm going to tell you that it's going to be. I'm going to tell you it'd be 1 in 100 that one of those punches gets through and actually knocks him out. Like Ferguson may not sound smart. He's sort of like Angelo. He may not sound smart, but every now and then he says he does smart.
All right, so
that's a good one, Chris. That's a good one. I'll give you that.
Aside from the Ferguson fight and Khabib, the Nurmagomedov, what other fights would you guys?
I said Nurmagomedov, man.
Nurmagomedov. So, what other fights would you guys want to see in the UFC? What are some other mega fights that you would want to see?
Oh, mega fights! I thought you were going to talk about the Rose. I wanted to see that Rose rematch. She pulled out before it officially got canceled, though. But Rose versus what's her name that she lost against?
Right.
Against Andrade.
I
really
think
want to see that. And then
we'll see that again, right?
Yeah, you also had Nagano versus Rosenstruck, which would have been a good fight. Greg Hardy was on the card.
I'm just talking super fights. So, for instance, one fight that I want to see is the trilogy to Stipe and Cormier. I really want to see that.
Yeah, I want to.
That's a solid. Everybody, that's a big heavyweight that everybody's gonna watch, right? You want to see John Jones fight, but he's fighting a lot of other demons right now. So I mean, I'm gonna say John Jones versus anybody, but we're not. We want to see John Jones in the ring, right?
It's John Jones versus himself right now.
Yeah, John Jones is losing. He's about on his last.
And to be honest, Israel Adesanya, like I know they want to hype up the Costo fight, but I just. I just don't see him being a good opponent. Like, I don't think Costa is really that good.
Costa? He is.
Yeah.
I mean, Costa is the same. I actually think that this is the exact same fight that we just talked about with Ferguson and Gaethje. Like, Costa, if he catches Adesanya, and Adesanya's been punched more than Ferguson has, if he catches him, it's over. Like Costa's a giant guy with a lot of power. The thing is that Adesanya's movement and his skill is just so well. I just don't expect him to lose against Paulo Costa. Although Adesanya did have a surprising amount of trouble against Romero.
I think that Costa is a souped-up steroid version, poor man's version of Gastelum.
Damn, poor man's version, dude.
Of who?
Isn't it? Gastelum. He's saying Gastelum. That's like a different division, isn't it?
Gastelum. Yeah, the war that Adesanya had. Because Gastelum is a freaking beast, man. That kid's a beast.
Yeah, but he's like
Didn't he just lose, though? Didn't he just lose to Darren Till?
Yeah, he did.
Bro, that guy will probably only fight a couple more fights in the UFC, and he's done.
Gastelum's legit. Like, so let's not cut him down because he's actually an incredible fighter.
Yeah, I love Gastelum.
And he's overachieved. I don't think people thought he was going to be as good as he was, but he's one of those guys that got caught in he couldn't make weight at welterweight anymore. He went up to middleweight. He lost right away. I mean, he's lit. If you want to know how inconsistent Gastelum is, his loss is against his loss when he went to middleweight before this one against Till and Adesanya. He lost immediately to what's his name, the New York guy that you don't like, Wayne.
Who are you talking about? New York guy.
He beat Anderson Silva.
Oh, the dude that beat Anderson Silva.
Yeah, you're talking about the All-American. The All-American.
Oh,
yeah. and then he went on a little win streak. Then he had a classic match of fucking will against Adesanya. And then he lost to Darren Till. You know what I mean?
You're saying he's the wrong size. He's the wrong size. Is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, if he can make weight at welter, he's just that stocky dude. He's like that sort of fatter, stocky guy. I'm talking about
I
Chris
think
Weidman,
he beats
by the way.
Costa.
Yeah, I said the
I think-
All-American, right? Weidman, yeah.
I think he beats Costa.
I think it's a coin flip because Costa's been legit too, dude. Listen, Costa has looked fucking great, and if he's on steroids and he's smart because everyone thinks he is and he doesn't get caught.
Man.
But hey, I mean, Costa deserves it. That's the situation right now. He's the next guy in line, and I think it'll be a good fight. I don't think that. I think that Adesanya is actually going to have an easy time with him.
So basically, you guys are talking about fights like 2021 fights.
This is what it sounds.
Is that what we're talking about? 2021 fights.
Hey, Wayne had some stuff he wanted to talk about. I just let him ask the questions. You know what I mean? They're good questions.
Well, I just, I like UFC, so let's talk middleweights, welterweights. Let's go with welterweights.
Actually, real quick on Costa. Hey, real quick on Costa. Actually, I'm not that super impressed with who he's beat. I mean, he beat Hendricks, who, as soon as they brought Vada in, suddenly sucked. So
Are you talking about Hendricks, who's on his last brain cell? Who are you talking about?
He's not even fighting anymore. But as soon as Vada came in, he sucked. So GSP was right about Hendricks. He was on steroids. Uriah Hall, he looks like he should beat John Jones at the middleweight, but he's not. So he beat him, and then he actually beat Romero, but because he got hurt, he didn't get the championship fight.
And then Romero looked like garbage his last fight. So then you're like, who is this guy? You know what I mean?
Romero was trying to just stand in the middle of the ring. And
he was just trying to stay in the fight. He was just trying to not to lose.
Well, that's not Romero's game. Romero's game is like, I'm bigger, stronger than you, and I should just dominate you. Like he's non-human. Romero's non-human, right? That's his game. His game should be domination.
Romero was smart too. He just didn't have any offense at all. I mean, because he knows Adesanya is such a counter striker, probably one of the best right now. I think Adesanya is probably the best. I have to think about it, but he's at least one of them. And Romero wasn't going to just throw strikes either. He was trying to just stand in the middle and tell Adesanya to come. The problem is Adesanya won with leg kicks and stuff. If Adesanya doesn't have to do anything, the fight ended up being sort of boring. But it was like one of those things where Romero was fighting smart enough. He would have gotten knocked out by Adesanya if he would have attacked him. No,
I disagree with that though. But if you're non-human, if you're like a freaking machine, your game is to attack. Romero's game should be to attack. He's stronger. He's stronger and bigger than freaking everybody he gets in the ring with.
Maybe that's what it should be, Lo. Maybe that's what it should be, but he never does. Romero's fights are always boring until he.
Yeah, I know. Well, he should.
Yeah.
Well, I think so. What about welterweight? That's a huge division that we could talk about for hours, honestly.
There's so many good fights.
Obviously, Usman is the number one, the champ. And there's multiple contenders. Like I feel bad for Woodley because he was the champion. He had one fight, lost it, and now he's he's on the wayside.
This is how deep welterweight is, Wayne. There's a guy not even in the UFC top 15. His name is Ponzinibbio, who's not even in the top 15, probably because he got injured and he hasn't fought for a year, so he probably had to drop off. That is probably a top 5 guy easy. And I think that he was supposed to fight Usman in Chile a couple years ago, and he got hurt. And then Usman went on his win streak. I think Usman's win streak would have stopped at that time. I think Ponzinibbio, go find his fights. You'll see what I mean about how good he is.
Well, no, I'm hip to him.
Yeah, he wants the guys to get in the ring, though, right? He wants guys to get in the ring, so this guy's probably been going down the freaking scale because he's not fighting, right?
Well, he got hurt. He got hurt his last fight too, but he had a big fight. I can't remember who it was against. I think it might have been against Gilbert Burns. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Stephen Thompson.
The caliber of fighters, though, in that upper tier it's fun. Like you got Kobe, you got Edwards, Leon Edwards. You got Woodley. You got.
I don't even think Woodley fights anymore. I haven't seen Woodley like.
He's supposed to.
Well, he was supposed to fight in the UK, which props to that, man. That's a big fight. He was going to go over to the UK after his championship defense loss. He was going to go over to the UK and fight somebody over there in their hometown. That, in my opinion, he probably should have got. That's a big fight, but he probably should have fought Kobe. And then now you got Masvidal in the mix too. That's a big, he's not a sleeper either.
Who didn't all those guys lose their last fights? Kobe,
Masvidal didn't lose.
Masvidal. I thought Kobe lost.
Kobe lost to Usman.
Yeah.
Lost to the champ. There's two guys that lost their last fight. Was it to the champ?
Yeah. Gilbert Burns is in the mix now. Gilbert Burns just beat Maia, so he's in the mix.
Now hold on here. Since you want to bring up Gilbert Burns, talented, young, up and coming, but I don't think he could beat a guy like Leon Edwards or Woodley, or I don't even think he could beat Kobe Covington.
Because Chris, you just said Wonder Boy. Didn't you just say Wonder Boy?
There you go, Wonder Boy Thompson. Damian Maia was kind of on his last leg. Didn't he retire after that fight?
So Damian Maia is not on his last legs. He's like an old guy that still could do what he does because it's jiu-jitsu. Gilbert Burns knocked him out, that's for sure. But he
retired. He retired after that fight.
I can't remember if he retired. He probably did. But I mean, Gilbert Burns is Damian Maia with power.
Yeah, so but Damian Maia, he's only going to beat you like submitting you, basically, right? Is what you're saying.
So did you hear what I said, though? Gilbert Burns is like Damian Maia with power. So I think he can at least beat Leon Edwards. I mean, that's a good fight. I want to see it. You know what I mean? If you take
Leon Edwards,
even
if Leon Edwards' last loss was to Kamaru Usman, you got three guys that their most recent loss was to the champ.
Yeah, but Leon Edwards has been fighting in UK and not super great fights. You know what I mean?
Who's Usman going to fight next? Because he's about to lose.
Probably Jorge.
I mean, because Usman hasn't he not dominated his fights, or has he?
Yeah,
I feel like he's. That's what I was going to say. I feel like he hasn't done nothing. He's just. I think that
Kobe fight, there was so much animosity that I think that he was careless in his attack. I think it was just more about trading punches and I'm going to beat your ass versus, hey, I'm going to be strategic and bob and pick my shots. I think that was a very personal bout. So he exposed himself more to being punched.
Are you talking about Usman?
Usman versus Kobe Covington, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was more personal, but good. That's part of the fight, you know. I think Kobe is actually good, right? I don't think he's as good as Usman, but I think he's actually good. I think the other stuff is selling
Kobe.
himself.
I think Kobe would roll Gilbert Burns up.
Maybe the problem is that if Kobe's on top of him, Gilbert Burns, that's like, I mean, Gilbert Burns is Damian Maia. Like he'll sub you or move you around. Like that. It's hard.
Kobe's a D1 wrestler though.
Yeah,
so
he
could bring that. He could bring that smothering technique. He could bring Khabib smothering technique.
You go to the floor, man. As soon as you go to the floor, you got a chance that Gilbert Burns is going to sweep you and choke you. So that's the problem. You know who else is a D1 wrestler? Tyron Woodley. You know how smart that motherfucker was? Every time Damian Maia went to the floor, he fucking ran away and goes, let's do it again.
Hey, as a matter of fact,
let me tell you something about D1 wrestlers. No, D1 wrestlers, hey, if you're college, you're legit, but some of the best fighters in UFC history have never been D1 wrestlers. George St. Pierre, Conor McGregor, John Bones Jones. You know, well, I'm just saying they weren't D1 anything. They didn't.
Anderson Silva. I agree, but what I'm saying is, right now, the style of mauling somebody, which Khabib has mastered. Look, Damian Maia.
Khabib, the perfect one. He wasn't a D1 wrestler. He didn't go to.
Who had more success? Who had more of a decisive win over Damian Maia, Kobe or Gilbert Burns?
Gilbert Burns. He knocked him the fuck out.
I feel like Kobe annihilated him too, though.
I mean, Damian Maia is hard because the guy that you're going to get for Damian Maia, you're going to beat him in a certain way. You know,
and Damian Maia isn't going to retire.
Or you're going to make a mistake and you're going to make a mistake and lose. You know what I mean?
I want to tell you that Damian Maia retired. I want to tell you he's
not going to fight much longer.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah,
I think you're probably right. He's also 42 or 43.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like
great career.
You guys are talking about old fighter.
Damian Maia's recent win was Ben Askren, and we see where Ben is when he tried to go against the elite competition as well.
Yeah, well, that was one of the elite competition. It was the 2 grapplers. That actually is a good point, Wayne. Let me put it there. So Ben Askren didn't work out, that's for sure. But this is sort of my point with any of those wrestlers, that if you make a mistake, Ben Askren made a mistake, one mistake, and Damian Maia choked him out. So in 25 minutes, is Kobe not going to get swept once and get on his back? Because if that happens, then Gilbert Burns is going to choke him out. So
mark this day, because you're giving Gilbert Burns way too much credit.
I'm not. I'm telling you it's there. I don't know what's going to happen till it is. My point of telling you Gilbert Burns is good is that you were giving him no credit.
So here's my thing: is I want to put Gilbert Burns where he belongs, in the tier below those other welterweights. I don't think he's on Woodley's level.
He hasn't got
I
the
don't
chance.
think he's on Kobe's level. I think he's still at that. Okay.
He hasn't got the chance. We got to give him a chance. Here's what I'm saying, because I'm not trying to say Gilbert Burns is the best. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying when you're reading that list of best fighters here, that list that starts with Usman, it should go down to Gilbert Burns. Like, Stephen Thompson is number 5. What I'm saying is the talent drops off a level after number 6. Then you start getting into the Damian Maias, the Chiesas, Dos Anjos has fallen off. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's fair.
Gilbert Burns may be the 6th best. I don't know, but he deserves to be in that group. When you're saying how stacked welterweight is, Gilbert Burns deserves to be somewhere on that comment list.
And I feel bad for Wonder Boy, because he was the best in the game to no fame. You know what I'm saying? To nothing right now. I mean, I think he's.
Who did he just beat somebody though? Who did he?
Maybe I thought he lost. Didn't he lose a few fights before that? I feel like I've watched a couple of losses.
Well, he had boring fights against Tyron Woodley, and he got knocked down. He got knocked down by a crazy.
That's what it is. I think
obviously this was a fluke. Obviously, it was a fluke because it was to what's his name from Wisconsin.
From Wisconsin.
The Mexican kid.
Pettis.
Yeah, it was
Pettis. Yeah.
Pettis did where he bounced off. So Pettis got punched and he got backed up. Yeah. He bounced off the cage with his foot and did a Superman punch and cleaned out Stephen Thompson's clock, right? But otherwise Stephen Thompson's pretty much winning. So
who did Stephen Thompson just had a really good win, man.
Yeah, he just
had a pretty he had a real good win. Who was it?
Huh?
He what?
He knocked out Luque, who's like that was a guy that people thought was going to be up and coming. He still might be, but he ran into Stephen Thompson. So
I'm glad he got a W, because I feel like he's got a couple, like 2 or 3 losses in a row or something.
Vincente Luque is legit too, by the way. That's a guy whose name we might be saying in this time in a year and a half or something.
Time
next year. So
I like it. A year and a half. There you go. That's probably what it's going to be too.
Yeah.
We'll actually talk about a real UFC fight in April 2021 or something like that.
Yeah. Hey guys, so we did an hour and a half. That was good. I feel like we could still talk some more, but let's go ahead and cut this off while it's hot, while there's still passion. Before we get it off though, on air, live in front of everyone, are we going to be consistent? And what time does that mean? We got a guy in Cleveland. We got 2 people that work full time.
Well, how many people are watching live right now? Can you see?
None.
Like 20?
None. That's
You're telling me 0. You mean 20?
Yeah, 500. No one's watching live right now, but if you're consistent, they will. So that's why I'm saying this live right now. If we're consistent, you'll get an audience. You know what I mean?
So I think it's more about, I think you and I, Chris, are very flexible. The question is what's Lowe's like? Lowe, do you have a consistent off day?
I'm probably more flexible than anybody. I could do like 4 days a week, anytime, day or night. That's pretty flexible. 4 days, anytime, day or night, I could do. Is that not flexible?
Now you sound like Donald Trump just spewing gibberish.
No, that's flexible.
Obviously, we can't do it at 4 a.m. or something, right? We got to do it in a good time, like at 6.
I mean, if it's on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah.
You could do those days.
You, if we were to choose a day or 2 as an option, what day or 2 would you choose?
Because I'm super flexible, on Friday, all day, all night. Saturday, all day, all night. Sunday, all day, all night. I could do that.
Why does he sound like Trump? Like, what metrics are you using? I'm using this metrics right here.
What I'm trying to tell you, I'm giving you 24 hours in the day, 3 or 4 days a week that I can do. You 2 go ahead and pick the time.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right,
So I could
that's
do
fair.
if you guys
Hold
can
on.
do like a Friday day or night, Saturday day or night, Sunday day or night on a certain time, I'm all in.
Well, once the economy goes back, I feel like a Saturday morning is a cool thing to do. Saturday morning, you know.
Well, Saturday early morning, and if I'm partying Friday night, that might not roll that good. You know what I mean? I mean, we can still do it, but I might not be up one time or not, or you know what I mean?
What's early morning to you?
I mean, I get up, dude. I was up for freaking 3, 4, 5 in the morning today.
This guy doesn't
So-
fucking party. This guy doesn't party.
No, not now. I'm talking
Well-
before when I'm off. I might be out all night.
Well,
Not
the
now.
casinos are shut down, so he ain't partying.
What I'm saying, I work all night long, so I'm up all day and night, so I can do it like 4 in the morning, 8 in the morning, noon, nighttime, whatever. We're doing it at 6 at night right now, dude. It doesn't matter. 6 at night.
I'll tell you this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it at this time.
See,
like
Chris ain't flexible, so we got to.
I am. But here's why. This is when like UFCs are starting. Like right now, like I'm missing like prelims and shit. If it was regular.
So what's wrong with like
it's not regular. We can switch-
mid-afternoon?
when it goes back
What's
to
wrong
regular, which is not going to be for 6 months, we could change it.
Well,
What's wrong with late
afternoon?
afternoon? What's wrong with late afternoon Saturdays or Sundays?
But for us, what is that? 1:12?
I mean, yeah, he's talking
Yeah.
for him. It's 4 or 5 o'clock. For us, it's like 1 or 2.
Yeah, 1 o'clock
Wayne-
for you guys, 4
Chris
o'clock
can't
for
do
me.
2. He can't do 2
I could
on
do
Saturdays.
noon. You want to do noon West Coast, which is
3.
that's 3:00 your time, Wayne?
That
That
works
work?
for me, man. I think we should do a draft. Like, I think we should study up on the draft and do a podcast before the draft.
Well, this is what I'll say. I just want one time that we're definitely doing. We always do Saturdays at noon. And then, hey, if we want to get on during the week, we can. I just want
we can-
Saturdays
All right,
at noon.
Saturday at noon. Saturday
Okay.
at noon.
Yeah.
Saturdays at
Can I get you
noon.
to commit to that, Lo?
I can commit to any time.
Are you going to be partying with hookers and blow on a Friday night after you get
Hey.
off of work?
If
Hey,
you guys
party-
tell me a time, I can commit. If I know a
Saturday
time
at noon.
pre time, Saturday at noon until the world goes back to order, and then we might change it. But that's not going to be for 6 months.
Saturday at noon.
Saturday.
When do you guys want to do a draft show?
Saturday at noon. Saturday at
No,
noon.
we got to do it before because the draft starts this week. So we got to do like a draft show like Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest.
Can
At
you
least
do one of
because
those
Chris.
days? Those aren't your best days, Lo. Can you do one of those days?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Like maybe 5 p.m. our time, Lo? Can you do a draft show?
Absolutely not.
I
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know your
I
hours.
could do it like 3 o'clock or something, 2 o'clock. I gotta get out and about 5 p.m. or so. You know what I'm
5
saying?
p.m.
Fine.
Hey, we'll talk about the draft show in the text.
All
Well,
right.
how about Monday 3 o'clock?
I mean,
Wayne,
this ain't the proper time.
Wayne,
to talk
Wayne,
about
All
this.
right.
Wayne. It'll be tough for him because it's unplanned. If you and I do a draft show, it'll be fine. You know what I mean? And we'll figure out more later.
All right, I'm out, guys.
Parting
You guys
word.
take care.
Parting word though. What do you want your team to draft? I want the Browns to get an awesome wide receiver that's 6 feet tall or taller, and obviously an offensive line stud.
I mean, it's good Lowe just left because he doesn't have a team. I want a fuck, what do I want? I don't know what I want. I have to think about it. I want a tight end.
And a wide receiver.
I do want wide receivers. It depends, but it depends if there's a wide receiver in the spot that the Packers are. Like, is there one projected to be good there? I have to look. I've been getting all this information about Packers draft stuff. I haven't been reading any of it. Anyway,
yeah, so start doing that. All right.
We're doing that, and then you and I will talk about when to do a draft show. I'm Chris Sarda. That was Angelo Saboro. This is Wayne right here. Thank you guys for watching Chaotic Sports. Find us at Chaotic Sports on Twitter, at Chaotic Sports Podcast on Instagram, and of course right on YouTube. You guys have a great day. Thank you. If you watch us on the rewind, I'll see you guys later.